Hello guys, it's a Doorknob here with my first ever review. I know, it's crazy, I'm actually making videos, would you believe it? And anyway, as you saw in the title of this video, this will be an OSU player's review of the RAWM SA-MH01. Okay, they just literally just put in Among Us lobby code as the name of the mouse. Whatever. Anyway, this won't just be any OSU player reviewing this mouse. This will be a mouse-only player's review, which means I click and aim with just one hand, and I use the other hand for unspoken acts of God that we will not talk about. And why do I play it like this? Because I'm special and stupid as hell. Anyway, let's get right into it. Alright, so to start off with this review, we're going to be going over, okay, it's turned 90 degrees. We're going to be going over what comes in the box and what to expect. I already have it out of the box because I've been using this mouse for like 3 months, but anyway, we're just going to start off with what to expect. So it comes with this box and like a weird like sleeve thing over here on the bottom, which is on the floor. It has this little sleeve thing like right here. It'll be like this, but that's kind of unimportant. Back to the Shadow Realm you go. And so what to expect in this box, if I could get it open right here. Anyway, what to expect in this box is on this side you'll have the actual mouse, and it also comes with a set of grip tape, which is tucked under here. A set of grip tape and replacement skates. It comes with a second shell, oddly enough. And this little box I'm pretty sure had the USB Type-C cable. And you also get a little screwdriver, along with a extra set of mouse switches, which I will reach over into the bottom depths of my ass and pull out of, and a set of mouse switches. By default, these come with KL 8.0s, blue shell pink dots, and Huano silence, which the Huano silence is what I chose to have in this mouse. They're great, and I'm gonna be honest, probably the best mouse switch out there in my opinion, but that's just me. But yeah, that just about covers everything that comes in the box, and next I will be talking about the shape, which I'll see you guys there. Thank you, Past Doorknob, for passing on the torch for me to talk about the next part of this mouse, which is the shape. And the shape, all I can say about it is it's basically just a Viper V3 Pro like clone of a shape. It's just with a slightly wider back. I'll put a little comparison for you to see. So it does fill out your palm just slightly more than the Viper does. But overall, for anyone who is looking just to have a Viper V3 like shape, or thinks the Viper could be a bit better if it just had a slightly wider back, I would 1,000,000% recommend this mouse. And now to talk about the next part of this, which is the coating. The mouse has a pretty good coating, although it's not as good as the V3 Pro, because just rubbing my like thumb over here, the V3 Pro does have a better coating, but there's nothing to scoff at for the RAWM mouse. The RAWM mouse still has a pretty good coating, like it's still really grippy. So I would still say that even though the Viper V3 Pro does have a better coating, this mouse is nothing to scoff at. Now to talk about the weight of this mouse is actually, it's advertised on Amazon and on the RAWM website to be around 70 grams, but from what other reviewers have shown, this mouse actually weighs in at 67, so they're actually underselling this mouse like just a small amount, but it is there. This mouse actually weighs in at 67 grams, and as I mentioned earlier, there is a second shell with the mouse with holes, but unironically enough, that shell actually weighs slightly more, which is just a bit confusing. But anyway, comparing it to the Viper V3 Pro, the Viper V3 Pro comes in around like 55 grams, and just trying these side by side, just moving it around slightly. I'm not going to move the Viper V3 Pro too much because it has glass skates and I want to scratch up the skates and the pad. But just moving these both around slightly, yeah, the Viper V3 Pro does come in just a good, like noticeably lighter, but the RAWM mouse isn't like a brick of a mouse. Like, yeah, it's like 12 grams heavier, but I'm gonna be honest, you can get used to that, and it's nothing that will like completely ruin your gameplay, because it's just, oh my god, I can't move this mouse, it's too heavy. But anyway, yeah, it is 12 grams heavier, and it does feel like it, but it's nothing that will hold you back or make aiming just more of a hassle. So yeah, the weight is actually pretty good, and like by today's standards, like yeah, it's a bit on the heavier side, or quote unquote heavier side, but the weight is nothing to it's nothing to complain about. It's a good weight, nothing to say about it. Now to move on to the next part, which is the sensor. The sensor just comes with a 3395, so you can expect some pretty good tracking, and you won't have any issues with losing tracking or spinning out or anything like that. So now to move on to build quality. The build quality is actually really damn good for what you get for like only $75. I know I'm not going to be showing it, but like I'm squeezing this thing like pretty hard. There's no creaking or like it's flexing like ever so slightly. Like I can feel it just flexing by like a nanometer or whatever the hell like small measurements you would use, but like it's really good. It's really solid. And for like side to side play, there's like none on the main buttons. There like yeah, there's like a little bit, but that's like inevitable with like every mice. Basically, there's like barely anything here. It's nothing you'd notice. But yeah, the build quality is really dang good. Now, to talk about the switches, it comes with Huano Blue Shell Pink Dots. And now, yeah, a lot of people love the Huano Blue Shell Pink Dots. So if you want to keep those in, you can. But I personally switched these out for Huano Silence. And for anyone who wants a little sound test, here you go. I'll just start clicking the Huano Silence right now. Yeah, that was a quick sound test of the RAWM mouse with the Huano silent switches. And to move on to the next part, this mouse actually comes with hot swappable switches, which in my opinion is just insane. Like I did not know mice could come with hot swappable switches until I discovered this mouse. It's actually crazy. I'll move on right now to show you how the hot swap works, and I'll see you guys there. Alright, so as you heard earlier, I'm going to be showing up. I don't know what just fell out there. That just came straight out the back rooms. But yeah, I will be showing how to quickly swap out the switch of your choice. Let me just quickly reach into my ass again to get the box of switches. Hold on, I don't know where it is. Give me a second. But yeah, after pulling that out, we have the switches right here. I'll be just swapping them to the blue shell pink dots that it came with originally. And I'll quickly showcase how you do it. It's literally just unscrew 2 screws, take the top shell off, and just take out the switch and put the one you want, put the top shell back on, put the screws in, and you're all set. I'll show that right now just to show it off. First, we gotta turn this mouse off, just in case, I don't know, I short something. Yeah, how's your guys' day going? Mine's going pretty okay. Anyway, to move on, that was an interesting noise. Now I got the screws out, and all you gotta do, you just squeeze like the sides of this mouse, like so. The back will pop off, and now I know that noise will probably scare a good couple of you. You might think you might have just broken a clip or something, but nope. And then it also includes this little pick. I forgot to mention that. It also comes with a little pick to just get the clips off, like this. Some pick ASMR for those who enjoy plastic picking on plastic. I don't know who those would be, but hey, I'm judging you. Whatever floats your boat, my man. All right, we got it out, and these are the Huano Silence, but I will be taking them out for the purpose of this showcase, and I will be putting in the Huano Blue Shell Pink Dots. And just gotta pluck these bad boys in. Okay, I got the switches in, and now we just gotta put the top shell back on, which all you gotta do is slide it in like this, just like that, and then just push until you hear a bunch of clips and whatever snap into place, and there you go. And of course, you would just have to put the screws back in, but because I already really love the Huano silent switches in this mouse, I will be swapping these back out. But yeah, that's how you can easily swap the switches out. And all you have to do to finish this off is just put the screws back in, obviously, but I won't do that because I'm going to put the Huano silence back in. But yeah, that's how you easily hot swap the switches that you want of your choice. You don't even need to use the ones that come included in this box. You could get literally any switch you want as long as it comes with like the little 3-pin layout or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty nice. This is just something I honestly can't live without anymore, but hey, this is just really, really nice to have. I just can't get over that this is something that can come with a mouse. I thought these things were only like exclusive on keyboards, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next section to talk about whatever it is I have to talk about. Now, after recovering from my dementia and remembering what I had to talk about again, we're going to be going over what grip best suits this mouse, and I can say that this grip pretty much suits, or this grip. This mouse suits pretty much any grip from palm to claw, or palm claw, or whatever hybrid of the two, or fucking whatever other grip there is, except for fingertip, because I think this mouse, I don't ever fingertip my mouse or fingertip grip any of my mice, but from just loosely trying out fingertip grip, I think this mouse is a bit too big for that, because I know a lot of the fingertip mice seem to be like just a mouse cut in half or just extremely small. So for that reason, this mouse is a bit too big for fingertip, but for anyone who uses like palm or claw or any other grips similar, this mouse will suit that pretty well. Now, for all those who love RGB, I'm sad to bring the news that this mouse does not come with RGB, unless you count the DPI light on the bottom, which if I were to put this on the RGB scale, I'd put it at because of just the DPI light, it'd be about like a 0.001. So, there you go. Now, another thing is the stock skates that come with this mouse are, in my opinion, just not that great. When I was using this on my Super Glide, it was just kind of shredding it and just leaving a bunch of like PTFE dust all over it, so I had to swap these out for some obsidian airs. But yeah, these skates are not the greatest. They're this weird like black PTFE material, at least that's what I think it is, and they're pretty slow and controlled, which on a glass pad is nice, but the fact that they just like get shredded on this pad it just kills it for me. And so yeah, I would highly recommend you get like a pair of like Jade Airs or Jade skates, just any like pure PTFE skates, because I wouldn't really recommend trying to use this mouse with the stock skates. They're a bit slow and a bit too controlled. Now I know a lot of people like skates like that, but I still wouldn't recommend those skates for that reason, because considering they were just getting absolutely shredded by my glass pad, and I've never had that with any other skate. I think the durability on those skates, on the stock skates, is not going to be the greatest. So I would highly recommend trying to swap them out. And RAWM themselves does include a set of pure white PTFE skates on their website, which I assume is going to be pretty fast compared to the stock options. So if you want, you can get that, or as I said, you can get like a pair of dot skates of 100 PTFE skates. Now, to go over the scroll wheel, it feels pretty nice. Some good defined steps, nothing to really talk about, just your average scroll wheel. It doesn't beat the Rocat Cone Pro Air, which in my opinion is the best scroll wheel, but that's just me. That's just me. That's just my opinion. And to talk about the battery life is nothing. I haven't had any problems with the battery just dying on me mid-session, even after like not charging it for 5 or so days. So I think this thing could probably last for like a week and a half, to be honest, maybe even a bit longer. So there's no problems with battery life. It lasts pretty long. I'd recommend just like maybe charging it like once every week before you get off the computer. Pretty easy to do. Just quickly plug in the mouse before you go to sleep and you're all good. No problems here. You could easily just go for a week without actually charging this mouse. So yeah. Now, if you ever need to plug in the cable on the topic of battery life, if you ever need to plug in the mouse to charge because it's low on battery or it's about to run out, like mid-session or something, the cable's actually really good. It's pretty flexible. It's not gonna get in your way all too much. It's pretty good. Nothing else to talk about there. If you need to plug it in, it won't be too in your way and you won't really notice it that much if you have like a bungee or something. But yeah, next thing a lot of people may hate or may be just okay with, the software. The software is just like your average mouse software. I'll show it right now. It just allows you to change like the DPI polling rate, rebinding buttons, yada yada, all that other stuff. It's just your average software, and you can go download it on the official RAWM website. Now I do know I've heard a web-based version of the software exists, but from when I tried to look for it, I couldn't find it for the life of me. I don't know if it's just because I'm absolutely stupid as fuck or what, or if it just doesn't exist. I tried to look for it, I just did not find it. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I'm blind. I don't know. But yeah. Now the last thing I'll be talking about is the pricing and value you get for the mouse. And I can say this mouse is really, really good for its price. It comes in around like $76 or $75.99 if you want me to be exact. But $76, well, that's not exactly cheap for a gaming mouse. It's still really good. You're getting a Viper V3 Pro-like shape, which the latter option being $160, which is insane. You're getting something pretty dang good, considering this is basically the exact same shape, just a wider back. You're getting hot swappable switches, sure, subpar skates, but you could just swap those out pretty easily. Like, there's nothing for this price compared to the Viper V3 Pro. I don't really see any reason why you'd get the Viper over this, unless you're not a particularly big fan of the wider back, or at least. And for the Viper, it does come with better options for like skates or grip tapes, like pre-cut options, which this mouse doesn't really get because it's not really that known, and it's not like mainstream like the Razer Viper V3 is. But if all that doesn't really matter to you, I'd give this mouse like a solid 9 out of 10 for value, even though it is, yes, on the pricier side. It's $75.99. That's not exactly cheap, but overall, I'd give this thing like an 8 out of 10. It gives you a lot for what you're paying. It's half the price of a Viper, so in my opinion, just get this thing if you want to save money and still get basically the same experience. And it's well worth trying out if you're wanting to get, as I said, a Viper-like shape, or you think the Viper is just a bit too slim on the back. That's what she said. But yeah, that just about wraps it up for this review. If you guys like this video, please just leave a like and subscribe. It'll help me out a lot, and all the other stuff that will YouTubers usually say at the end of their video. I don't know how to do this. I don't know, hit the bell or something. But yeah, see you guys in the next video. Peace.